Hey, I'm Kirsten. I shared a painting the other day called A Pearl of Great Price and um, have had a little bit of a vulnerability hangover. And so I'd like to pay attention to those kind of feelings and make sure I do shame busting when that comes up. Because usually those kind of feelings are about somebody else, not me, something that's been put on me. And this story is definitely one of those stories. So I don't usually show my face. I would rather show my art, but I think it would be a good thing to share the longer version of this story and read the communications that were sent to me by this man so that those that are interested can see what happened. And also, it's a good educational experience on manipulation tactics, religious abuse, spiritual manipulation, and coercion. At the time, I was active LDS, and older couple moved into the neighborhood and into my ward, Cheryl and Garrett, and she was lovely. We hit it off instantly. We would talk about books and poetry, but mostly, we didn't see each other a ton. She had a lot of health problems, and I was really busy with young kids and my art studio. And we were friendly, and I could tell that, if we had different times in our life that we probably would have been really good friends. I then got busy going through a divorce and then moved out of that neighborhood. Had been divorced for 7 years and had a job and my own, car, my own home, like taking care of things, and got a message from Cheryl through email that she was not doing well and was probably going to be passing from cancer soon. At that time, in my own personal faith journey, I was still doing a lot of deconstructing and trying to figure out the subtleties of what I would have previously called feeling the spirit or having a prompting, and my own personal intuition and connection with the universe. And I felt very strongly that I wanted to paint Cheryl a picture of herself, a portrait of herself, to give to her, just to let her know that she was loved. I felt uncomfortable with this thought because I hadn't seen her for a long time, and just to do that, like out of the blue, and drive over and give it to her felt weird, but I just decided to do it. So I did a little watercolor of her, and then I drove over to her house and dropped it off. She was very ill at the time and did not come to the door, but came to the window to say thank you, and that was the last time I saw her alive. About a week later, I got an email from her husband letting me know that she had passed away and letting me know about her funeral service. And then I got another email from him, and it was a little bit weird. He's a little bit weird guy. And it said, let's see, this was the February the 20th. Kirsten, Cheryl's memorial service will probably be coming Saturday morning. I'll be reading some of her poems that she wants to be read at the service. One of them will be very difficult for me to read. It's even difficult for me to write to you about it, knowing that she looked upon you as a kindred spirit. I'm hoping that you will be able to read it for her. Coming from you, it will sound more like her than it would be coming from me. And I was like, well, I mean, that's really nice. I guess I can do that for her. I was thinking about her. It did seem strange. Garrett and I were not friends at all. Cheryl and I were friends, but we were not super close, and I hadn't seen her, in a long time, besides dropping off the painting. Plus, this would be going back to my old ward and to LDS funeral service, which I had some feelings about, different stories there, but suffice it to say, there was some discomfort there. But I felt like I maybe could do that for her. So I emailed him back, and I said, well, I'm honored that you would trust me with that. I can certainly try, though I can't promise I won't cry through the whole thing. Please let me know the details of the time and place so that I can be there. So I went to the funeral. I got up and read her poem, and then I left, and I thought that would be it. Her funeral was February the 24th, like the 27th, I think. And then I got this letter sent to the store that I work at as a artist, and it was dated March 14th. It said, "Dear Kirsten, each time I look at your painting the last few days, I was reminded of your words to Cheryl. I am so glad that I listened to promptings to do that for you, though I felt a bit uncomfortable. I appreciate the sacrifices you made to show your love and support to Cheryl, and me in our traumatic times, the lovely painting, your gracious acceptance of my poem request, rearranging your schedule to attend her memorial, and rescuing my talk with your lovely reading of the poem that was too much for me to do. I am likewise uncomfortable in making this request and do so with much trepidation. Okay, so keep in mind I have zero relationship with this man whatsoever. I am at this time engaged to be married to a man that I had been with for 3 years. And I have not talked to this man at all about my life or what my life is like. He has asked me zero questions about myself, knows nothing about my spiritual journey, my deconstruction, or anything. I'm getting this letter from him with no preamble, no request for any kind of friendship on my part. I will be taking my 7-year-old granddaughter to a children's play called The Brave Princess at the Desert Gardens on Friday, the 31st of March. It has been many years since I've spent this much time with a 7-year-old girl, and I'm quite out of practice. It would be much easier for me if I had someone along who knows a lot more about 7-year-old girls than I do. I realize that this is a very unusual and perhaps unwanted request. Please do not feel that you are under any obligation or expectation to accept. I don't even want to put you in the awkward position of having to respond. So please, please, please do not feel obligated to do so. I will understand and will still hold you in my highest regard. You have already done more for me than any man has a right to expect, and I will be eternally grateful for what you have already done. Please forgive me for sending this to your work address, but I'm not at all sure that I sent my first letter 2 weeks ago to a correct address for you. Should you bless me by accepting, Diana and I can pick you up. If you tell me where, I feel like apologizing for writing, but I write much better than I talk. I saw your lovely paintings on display at the Sears Gallery. I loved reading all the stories on your blog and learning more about you. I especially liked your article on racism in Utah. It was a masterpiece. I have enclosed an article from the Smithsonian magazine that I think you will enjoy. Love, Garrett. I'm not sure what he wrote to me. I never got it. But I just wanted to point out how he uses kind of peripheral information he has about me that he has been finding online and by stalking me, my website, going to my galleries, looking at my work, and making it seem like he knows me very well, even though he doesn't know me at all, and making assumptions about what I would and wouldn't do, bringing a child into it to make me feel obligated and safe, and setting everything out as if he has created a movie in his head where I am an actor in this movie and I'm expected to do certain things for him, which means he's spent a lot of time already obsessing and making up stories instead of getting to know me as a real person. Also notice that he says many times that I'm not obligated to answer him at all, which I didn't and never did through this entire correspondence.